Peace I leave with you, my friends. Peace the world cannot give. Peace I leave with you, my friends, so that your joy be ever. Great. So this is where I like to meditate, and we have retreats, and it's just wonderful to always be by the sound of the water. It is really wonderful.
Soothing.
Very, very soothing.
It cleans out the garbage. It really does.
Yeah. Cleans out everything that's in you. It just begins to flow just like the water.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the water. Often we have a lot of animals. They aren't here at this particular moment, but we have a lot of turkeys and a lot of deer. And very often when we have a concert, the deer will come. And particularly they come when I do a song for the animals. And we do this one song where to bless the animals, and the deer just about always come when we do that. And even my cat will walk in. The last concert we gave, the cat walked right into the, so now we'll do the animals, and the cat walked right into the center of the room, and the deer came. It was so beautiful.
And what's the song?
It's called the bird song.
The bird song.
Yeah.
And no wonder the cats show up. They want a couple
They
of
like
birds.
But we're all tuning into the animal that we would like to heal, and then they come.
You know, I piece of property that I had a number of years ago. I put a medicine wheel in there with 13 spirals around it, which represents the moon. And the deer and the turkeys and the snakes all showed up.
Wow.
One by one.
Great.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things with earth symbols. Part of when I put the symbols around the trees, I just started to do one tree, and I did a couple trees, and then I looked, and the whole place filled with deer as soon as I did it, and they were as close to me as you are. I just finished with my eyes closed here, and boom, there all the deer were. And
instantaneous.
yeah. And last year, we had all that snow in the spring, and just before the snow came, I was starting to do, again, work with all the trees, and I had one area. It was over there, and I just was doing this one area, and then the snow came, and I didn't do it anymore because of the snow. And as soon as the snow started to melt, all the deers and the turkeys, they could have gone all over the 11 acres. They went to that one space that I had done, and they were all there right next to each other. The deer, the turkey, all in that area where the trees had been activated. and then they went through to go through the snow to bring the grass up. So the animals and the trees and nature responds to everything that we do. And they respond to the music. So one of the things that I do is that I create different music for different things and for different purposes. One CD that I have is called Creating Paradise. And with this CD, we would see a chemtrail come over the house, and I'd put the CD on. Within 5 minutes, the chemtrail was gone. You would see it over there, you'd see it over there, and nothing over the house.
I want that.
Yeah, and I showed it to Scott. I said, hey, Scott, look at this. First with the chemtrail. He said, yeah. And then I put it in, I said, look at this. And Scott said, I see it, but I don't believe it.
So what does it do? It has an energy?
It has an energy. Not only is there intention, the words are very powerful. Like the words I say, neutralizing the heart project, neutralizing this and that, shifting it to light, shifting to love, with very powerful music. But in addition to all of that, it's charged with very special frequencies. I, as a healer, one of the things I do, I'm a little bit like the guy in Green Mile, the Tom Hanks film. So I open my mouth and pull stuff out. So often people feel like something was pulled out. So I did that to the whole CD. So the whole CD has all this pulling energy the whole time. I played it one time with that going into it. Then I did it another time just bringing in the bliss energies, and that went through. The same time we infused it with a lot of frequencies, worked with like I forget the word. Anyway, we put many different frequencies into it. So it's a very special, actually most of my CDs are very powerful and have great healing frequencies. But this particular CD is great for your environment. And what you can do is you can just, like it's wonderful to play it and listen to it, but what you can do is you can play it in a room in your house. You don't even have to go there. You just have it playing, put it on repeat, and it just heals the environment. So it'll get rid of any bad chemtrail things. It'll create the environment that brings like all the deer, all the animals, that they all want to be in your space. Usually the turkeys aren't even just walking around. They're just sitting down. They sleep, right at our doorstep, and the deer too, they feel so safe. And the animals do, nature does, and of course we do too, because we take a lot on from things that are coming in. So that CD is very good for the environment.
What's the name of it?
Creating Paradise. Then I have another one called Creating Healing, which works on if you have anything the matter with your body. I have another one called Creating Abundance, and people have had that and have a lot of finances come to them.
Not the Avalanche of Abundance.
Avalanches of Abundance.
Oh, that's the one I listen to. Yes, that's the one I listen to.
Yeah, it's really great. And so, of course, most of my CDs are music, but I do have these meditation ones. There's another meditation one that I did with Aurelia Jones. So it's called The Seven Flames, and she had me read the meditations from her book, and then I put music under it. And it's 2 CDs, and I've had wonderful response. One lady told me that she plays both CDs every single day, and even her teeth in her mouth have completely shifted. Her whole body has changed by playing that every day.
Wow.
And
so what inspires you on your music?
The music.
What inspired you to like think about what you're going to do next, or does it just come to you like a theme?
Well, the music started out when I was in New York City, and I was working with the masters, and the masters in some of their dictations, they said that they had these beautiful melodies on the inner planes that they were just waiting for people to receive. So I said, oh, I'd love to do that. So I made a beautiful picture of me with the angels pouring the melodies into me, and I looked at it, said my affirmation every day, and then I began to play the piano, and then melodies started to come, and I put harps just as a metaphor, because that's what angels play. And before long, someone introduced me to Hilda Dilling, who played the harp. She taught Harpo Marx, played in the White House under 4 different presidents, and I went to a concert of hers and wound up taking lessons with her. And she was my mentor for the last 2 years of her life.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd go there for a half-hour lesson, and I would be there for hours. She'd tell me stories, feed me. It was just, she'd been my teacher in many lives, in the Renaissance and in China.
And that was who?
Mildred Dilling. She was the grand dame of the harp. She had the world's largest private harp collection right in her apartment, and she was in Celebrity Row. Right across from her was Henry Kissinger, Shirley MacLaine. All these people were, it was the celebrity part of New York City.
Right in the heart of it all.
It was, it was
right in the harp of it all. Huh?
The harp of it all. She had the harp that first went up with Klondike Annie to the Klondike. She had one of Marie Antoinette's harps. She had Thomas Moore, who was Elmoria. She had one of his harps, and she had all these famous harps.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a real interesting time for me and she would get me started, and I played, and places like the Pierre Hotel, some of the fanciest places in New York, and she had all these interesting people that she knew. I traveled with her a little bit too. We had a trip down to Washington, D.C., and I didn't drive, but so she would drive. And here she is, around 80, you know. She's driving this big van filled with harps on Park Avenue, and she sees someone she knows, and she says, "I'll race you to the next stoplight." She was so...
How fun. People are so fun when they're...
Yeah, everyone has their Mildred Dilling story.
Yeah.
She was quite... So she was my introduction to the harp world. To look like at the mountain and begin to see shapes and faces and look at rocks and nature, it opens a part of our mind to allow spirit and nature to work through us. So it's really wonderful to look and you think it's your imagination, but actually in Lemuria they actually carved places in rocks and stuff, and so it's left there for us to look at. So,
you know, when I first moved up here, the Black Butte, going south, looking at the Black Butte, I saw this Indian chief there, and I asked my friend, "Do you see that?" She goes, "I've never noticed that before."
Yeah. So you're doing it.
Yeah.
But it's good for all of us to do it. It exercises a part of our brain that opens us up, that allows us, that's one of the ways to begin to have the elementals work with us. And of course you can ask in your dream world to go. The night before last I was in the dream world. I was shown the devas, and they would show the branches, and I was so excited in the dream. I would see hands that were holding up the branches. It was so beautiful. So in our dreams we can learn so much. Last night I was with a Sufi master who was teaching different ways of working with sound and different ways of working with mantras. It was an amazing dream.
The 17th, we're having a sound alchemy.
Sound alchemy on the 17th.
Vibrational alchemy.
So this isn't my, well, this is my kick around, but whatever.
Okay, so this is Scott Rhodes, who performs with me when I play the harp. Scott plays the keyboards, and you'll see him when you see the clip from our DVD. Along with Mother Mary, Kuan Yin is just so wonderful, particularly at this time. There are many different ways of working with Kuan Yin, you know, which we do. There are mudras to connect with her, chants to connect with her, and then you can just feel her moving through you. And right now, probably the world needs compassion so much. It's one of the major qualities that we need. First of all, compassion for ourselves, and then once we've done ourselves, then compassion to go out and to give. And a lot of the world is suffering right now. And so the world can really use Kuan Yin's energy. And when we go through that and just give it out, it's just phenomenal.
Wow.
And this particular Kuan Yin is one of the most beautiful Kuan Yins that I've ever seen. And it was the person who made it was just really tuned to Kuan Yin. And it has an energy field that blesses all of Mount Shasta.
I know that when I first came in, I was like, I had to stop because I could feel, I was like, what am I feeling? Who am I feeling? And it was her that I could feel.
Yeah. Yeah, many people that we've had a lot of teachers and gurus come through this house, and many of them come up to her and they say that she's alive. There's certain statues that are alive, you know, that carry this special energy by the wood, the resonance, the energy while they were created, and so this is one of these special ones. And it's a tremendous blessing. I've been playing music since probably birth, but I mean early 60s. Are we already recording? I did my first album in 1974, which called Vision, and I wrote the songs, and I sang and played piano, and I played violin on it. It was real fun. And I had my first recording was in while I was still in college in the 60s. And I did, I had a benefactor who wanted to have me do a recording, and I did art songs that I was doing while I'm in college. That was my very first recording. And then there was the Vision album, and then I was in a folk rock group in New York. Now, I played electric violin, had hair down to here, and
Oh my.
we had the same,
Young, eh?
yeah, we had the same manager as the manager of the Mamas and the Papas. And he actually thought we could be another Beatles, and we had a rags to riches kind of, we had,
Rags to riches.
yeah, a lot of interesting stories from that time. It was a real fun time. Needless to say, we didn't. I was the angel, and we had a lady who was the sexy one, and then we had a guy who was the mad genius who wrote all our music. And along with the mad genius, he was a little temperamental, so we'd be in the studio and then he'd have a tantrum, and that would be the end of our things. But we had so many stories. We were in, it was a lot of fun, but that's not the main thing I'd like to talk about today.
Yeah, what would you like to talk about?
But we had a lot of fun back in my early days. But now what I do is, well, we haven't really introduced me. My name is Erik Berglund, and I sing. I'm a singer, and I play the harp, and so I give concerts all over the world, and then I give workshops as well, and then I do private healing sessions. So I've been traveling 75-80% of the year, every year. I've been everywhere from, I've been in Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, over the States, all over, everywhere from Easter Island to Siberia, from Paris, London, Moscow, Tokyo, all over. And
so do you have a manager that puts this together, or
no, I don't.
you just have people call you up and say,
Yeah.
come on down to Australia, huh?
Actually, I just got an email yesterday from someone who wants to organize me in Australia. Yeah, interesting that you say that.
with you.
Just yesterday.
I'll do all the filming for
Yeah,
you.
she wants to have a 4-week tour going to all the major cities in Australia, which I would like to do, because I always like to do things that I haven't done, and I haven't done a major tour of Australia. I've done a couple retreats. I've done a lot of work with a lady called Jasmine, who is a lady who is famous for living on prana, living on light. And I've been part of her retreats, and we've done them all over the world. And so with her, I did 2 retreats in Australia. One at the Great Barrier Reef, and one just out at Noosa, not too far from Brisbane. And I gave a concert in Brisbane. But that's it for Australia. So I would love to have a nice tour. So interesting.
Wow.
That just opened up yesterday.
Where did I pull that out of, huh?
You're tuned in.
So when's that coming up?
Oh, I have to talk to her and everything. Maybe if she goes with what I'm thinking, I was tuning into maybe February 2012.
Hey, that's my birthday. You can put me in your little box and
my
take me
birthday's
with you.
February too.
When's your birthday?
The 27th.
Mine's the 11th.
The 11th. Oh, so you're Aquarius.
Yeah.
I'm Pisces.
Aquarius with Cancer moon and a Leo rising.
Oh, really? Well, I can see the Leo rising.
Yeah, and the crown is at home.
Yeah. Well, that's
So what's
great.
your moon in?
My moon's in Libra, which
Libra,
is
good balance.
yeah, and a Taurus rising and Pisces sun. And I have a double grand trine that makes a Star of David. So that's my astrological.
Do you know where the Star of David is upon the mountain?
No.
Go, starting from the railroad train tracks, Everett Memorial, and count the mileage signs, and just after the 6th mile, you'll see a road to your left. You go back there about a block, and then it splits and goes to the right. And you take that right, and it goes another block, and then it opens up, and the Star of David is in big rocks laid. It's about as big as this room is.
Wow.
And it's like having access to the telephone. All your ancestors and all you people that you work with will be there.
Well, then talk about doing things for the earth. So one of the things that I like to do is to take flags of different countries. Like here's Japan. Of course, I've been working on Japan and the United States, and Israel is a perennial to take care of, and different countries. So what I'll do is I'll do the chant that I mentioned, which we'll work with here. Let's do America right now. So you can just take a flag like this, or if you don't have a flag, you can just write the name of the country, put your hands on it, and then you can do a chant. So this particular chant, Sanskrit chant, which is for miracles, is Uda Bhuta Vishana Jalodara Bada Bhuna Sotyam Dashamupagata Shatajivitasha Twatapada Pankaja Rajobrita Degda Dea Martya Bhavanti Makara Dwajatulya Rupa.
Beautiful.
That's such a powerful chant. People would chant that, and the most amazing miracles would happen. One fellow was in jail that was about to be executed the next day, and he just chanted this all night. And the jailer just came in, opened the door, and he walked out. Yeah. And so here's one thing that we do when we have retreats here. We work with sound. And this is a wonderful gong. And gongs free us up, energy that's stuck. And so this is like freeing stuck energy. So where you are, listen to the gong and just imagine that this sound is moving through you and freeing you of anything that's stuck. One moves your energy in another way.
Do you have one big enough to stand in? You should get that. I had somebody come to the studio. We stood in this, and he did just that.
Imagine.
Changes the whole vibration.
It takes 2 or 3 months just to make one of these little bowls in Tibet, so I can't imagine one that you could stand in. It'd probably take them years.
It's a gold. It's a golden one.
Wow.
So have you ever counted how many shadows, how many reflections you have in the mirror there?
Endless.
No?
I haven't counted.
Well, it's endless.
Yeah. Just like endless light. Well, let me take you to the healing room.
Okay.
This is the mother of the world. And she goes on endlessly too, above and below. Me too.
Becomes a whole.
So,
Well, I'm ready.
welcome to my healing room, in the healing temple. And this is where I get to do my sessions. Most of my sessions are on the phone. And I'm doing sessions with people from all over the world. One person could be from Japan, the next person from Europe, the next person from somewhere in the
And they
States.
just call you?
Yeah, well, I have it all worked out, you know, so that with the time changes, and I put they send me their pictures, so I have various all kinds of pictures, and so I might take a picture, and then I put it under here, so it's under many objects. Then I have little pictures.
Now, what is this piece right here? It's like a...
Yeah, that was the word I had forgotten and couldn't think of. This is this is made by a friend of mine in Holland, and I forgot the word of it, but it's a special word for all these things. And it's made with resin and metals, and this heals like the earth. People put these near cell towers, but this is a very fancy special one. That does a whole lot. Particularly, this is good for sending energy to, remote, to people in different places. So with intention on it. I have a mini one that I can take and travel with, but this is the big one. So
it's interesting because as you're talking about it, I'm getting this energy. I'm getting goosebumps. So.
Yeah.
Well,
this
it's
whole
very
place is
alive.
There's just so much here from many different places. So I also take little pictures. I can just take a little picture of someone, and I put them on through all kinds of processes. I work with laser lights on them, and I put my hands on them, do all the energy with, so they have, anything can be done. We've had...
long distance healing.
Yeah. So I always say that I can't claim what's going to happen, but I say that God can do anything. The angels can do anything.
God can do it all.
Yeah. So we've had, like one young guy was in his 20s, and he had a brain tumor, and he was given a month or 2 months to live, and his dad just asked me to do everything I could, so I did a blitzkrieg of energy on him, and I knew it was gone. But they still operated, and when they went inside to operate, nothing was there. So, there are all these things that can
Makes
happen.
it. What happened to the MRI before the operation?
They should have, yeah. So, as you can see, I have many masters that I connect with, and so we get by with a lot of help from our friends, and I always feel that...
I see Arthur over there.
Yeah.
And what is she good for?
Hather is good for love, and they're sound beings. So they bring tremendous love and work with sound, and of course I work with sound, so it's really great. This is Hilda. She was my teacher in New York that I was with for almost 20 years. She was an amazing person. We would have gatherings of 1,000 people every week, and people were healed of all these things. I even saw her bring someone back from the dead once. Just an amazing... So I was in her aura, and the same girl that I mentioned when we were in Romania, who could see with the inner sight, the teenager, Hilda came to her and was talking to her while we were having the session, and then later I spoke about Hilda to the whole group, and afterwards the girl came up to me and she was so excited because I had confirmed what she had seen. So Hilda still is very much active in blessing many, many people.
Exciting.
So, yeah.
So what is this? What is this right here?
This one? Well, you know what? I'm so sorry. I used to know what everything was, and I've had this so long. I've had this 10, 15 years, and
so
now I forgot.
What does it do? I mean, does it like clear the energy?
Yeah. All of these are like clearing the energies. So when I have someone that I'm working on, Okay, so here's my mom.
Oh,
My mom is 97 years old. And she's, still here. And at one point they thought that she was going to die. We did all this energy work, and she's still here. So I'm always working her. So I can, go over, with things like this. I can go with all the things. This is biogenesis. And,
I'll give you a picture of me.
yeah.
You can do your work on me now.
Yeah. Well, what I do is it's a lot of work when I go inside a person. So usually, people have to have a session when I do this deep, heavy work that I'm like this. But other times when I'm not, people give it to me, and as you see, I have all kinds of people here, and I have their pictures. I just put them under a thing, and here's somebody that's under something. This is someone who. Here she is. She just called, and she's needed money right away. She was about to be evicted, and so I put everything on here, and I called her, and now miraculously someone made her their heiress. They felt that they didn't like their family, and so they decided they were to give their money to her. Isn't that wonderful?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Become the millionaire overnight, huh?
Yeah, well, she doesn't have it yet.
Well, hey, it's still there.
Yeah, but it's coming there, and
And maybe she just needed to move.
Yeah, and now she had another thing just happen to get money like right away. A check's being sent, and so she's gonna make it by. But this is a special thing. It's called the Bell of Genesis, and it rings, and I put things on, and these are everything I have here is very, very powerful. This is the visualizing form of the chant that I did for miracles. So I have, they're like in Sanskrit.
And what are these little colored plaques here?
Oh, each one does a different thing. So they correspond to what the colors do. So many people are familiar with the violet plates.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the violet plate, but they come in all the different colors. So each one does a thing. Violet is transformation, it transforms. The blue brings power. Everyone does a different thing. And
Wow,
so
I bet you're really a powerful healer on a... let's see, I'm hearing... when you step aside, when your ego steps aside, they can channel through you, and you're,
that's
not you, but the channel is
Yeah.
the high healing.
And that's the essence of it all. You hit it on the head. When I first started healing, I was in South America in the Andes, and I was playing music for a program. And there was a lady who was sick, and so I said, oh, let's all put our hands like this and just ohm for her, which is what we did at Hilda's, at her meetings. And so the person, of course, got well. And the next day I had a couple come with their baby to my hotel room asking me to heal the baby. And I said, why did you come here? I'm not a healer. And they said, well, we heard about this person yesterday. And I said, oh, that wasn't me. We were just all ohming. And they said, yeah, but can't you do something? I said, well, I can't, but, well, we can always ask God. So I did this affirmation that I learned from Hilda's, which is just what you said. Get me out of the way, and God, you do it.
Let God be me.
Yeah.
A bit like God be here. Yeah.
And so then all these people started coming, they were all healed. And then they invited me to come back, and it was real amazing. We flew from where we were in this helicopter way to this tiny little town in the Andes, and there it was the Archangel Michael feast day, and we carried the statue all the way around. It was real, adventuresome and dramatic. And then at the end, the lady who had invited me there passed out on the floor. And when she came to, she said the statue had come to life. And
the statue came to life?
Yeah. And that was why she passed out. And she asked me what this was all about. And I wound up saying, well, it was initiation for her and for all of us. And then someone asked me something, and it turned out that I had given them a healing in a past life. And I was very surprised that those words came out of my mouth. And the whole rest of the way that we came back, we flew in a helicopter over, but coming back we were bused. We had to stop for chickens to pass the road, do this and that. And I had tears rolling down my cheeks for like 3-4 hours straight till we came back. And the next day, it wasn't advertised, but all these people came for healings, one person after another. And when I said, get out of the way, I said, all worldly thoughts be gone. I'm completely surrendered to the power of Jesus Christ, is what I said at the time. And then I put my hands, and I'd feel the energy move, and they were healed. And if I didn't do that, if I started to think, nothing happened.
Yeah, the ego.
Yeah, and it was just perfect because I was with all these people that believed in me. I was taken out of where I normally lived, which was New York City at the time. So God knew what was perfect for me, just like God knows what's right for each one of us wherever we are. But that was my particular way to tap into who I was from the past. And then since then, I've learned so many things. I've learned Shambhala, I've learned Reiki, I've learned Jinshin Jitsu, I have all these tools, I have amethyst pads, I have pyramids, you name it. I have everything.
This is a magnetic.
Yep.
I have to tell you, when I was in Sacramento, I had this dream, get a pyramid. And then after I got the pyramid, I was told to get a magnetic seating area, and then I was told to take the Ethereum gold.
Yeah.
And in 4 months, my friend could see my light body. She kept saying, "Who's in the room with you? Who's in the house with you?" And I said, "No." She went into my room and said, "Over there, that's you, Arthur." And then she freaked out and had to leave. But this is what they had me do, is put together a pyramid and a bed and meditate and then bring people in. And
well, we're on the same wavelength.
I know.
We're getting the same guidance.
And you know what? Then I went to a psychic fair and there was the Archangel Michael, or the Buddhist group.
Michael.
Yeah, the Buddhist group.
Oh, that group, yeah.
That had the same thing, and I'm like, wow, I'm being guided.
And here's Michael.
So what does this do up here? Does this bring in specific energy?
Yeah. All this brings in very special energies when people on it, and you see it's below. Like the true pyramids have a pyramid above and below. Yeah. You see I have selenite below. We were talking about selenite, and I have special skulls that do everything. I have a violet skull, an amethyst skull at the top to move energy, and down here is a ruby under this chakra. Everything is balanced. So if people come here in person, it's really quite amazing to have all these particular energies. And we have Rosie over here, who's been at many ceremonies on Mount Shasta.
No, who's this guy right here? That's the rose one.
The rose. That's Rose. That's Rosie.
And what does Rosie do?
Rosie brings love.
What?
Love. Love is the essence for everything. Love is what heals everything. Anything that's stuck is because love isn't moving. And so she really helps with the love. And of course, all the angels do. Here's Mother Mary. This is a Mother Mary made out of olive wood that we got in Bethlehem.
I had a Buddha in my room, and every once in a while I could hear, "Turn around and look at me." I turn around and I'm like, "Yes, look at me." Like, "Are you talking to me?" And Buddha would say, "Yes, I want you to meditate for a few hours." I was like, wow, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, we all need to meditate more. Right now, we should be meditating a minimum of an hour a day.
Yes.
With the times that we're in. And as things get more and more intensified, we should spend more time meditating. Of course, we could do even more now. Like even an hour feels short. It's nice to do 2-hour meditations. And I've been going to India every year, and there are people there who are meditating hours and hours a day.
Yeah, and it's a whole different space.
Yeah, it's a whole different space.
And when you get out of that space, you bring it with you.
Yeah, which is really wonderful. So it's real. But anyway, we can all start with an hour, which is really great.
And who's this over here?
This is Asclepius.
Who's it?
This is Asclepius. He's the Greek god of healing. And and put on the white. This is from
What's the
the symbol of the
snake?
snake. Well, the snake represents the Kundalini coming up and rising
Ah.
up, so that when the energy is flowing, the energy comes down and it comes back up. So the energy comes from the heavens and it comes down the spine and it comes back up.
Oh.
The serpent energy, and then magic can work in our lives.
And who is this?
This is Archangel Uriel. This is the angel that heals disasters. This is the angel that helped Noah with Noah's Ark. If there are earthquakes or disasters, Archangel Uriel. He's the angel of peace. So he's a good angel to be friends with.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here.
Well, this was one of the covers of my Elysium album, and the angel playing the harp, and I call this place Elysium, and Elysium is the Greek word for paradise. And I feel that part of what each one of us is here to do is to create paradise on earth. We start out by creating paradise on ourselves and around us, and if we all do that, then we have paradise on earth.
Wow.
So,
So awesome.
which we did in January 1992, and it was to help. We were at the Great Pyramid in front of it, and for 3 days, 3 nights, we were all dressed in white, and we enacted what was from the stars.
Wow.
It was like being in a science fiction novel. It was just amazing. Here I am. I'm right on the microphone. I'm helping to, getting to lead the whole group, which was just really wonderful. And this was spearheaded by Solara, and that's Solara in the center. And
there you are right there.
Yeah. Right here on the
Everybody in robes?
Yeah, all in white. We were 500 people there from all over the world, and at the same time people were doing this in PowerPoints all over the planet, but this was the main one right at the Great Pyramid. And Power Places Tour put this on, and they're putting on the tour that Susan and I are going to be in 11/11, and they said they've done many tours to Egypt. This was the only time in all the history they know of where a group got to do something like this in front of the Great Pyramid.
Wow.
And at night it was all lit up. The pyramid was lit up. We had candles all around us. It was just phenomenal. And we were at this point we were like a star, and the star would move, and we would feel the stars and the heavens were moving, and it was moving in different parts of the earth. It was just really one of those points out of time that was just magical.
And how about this one?
This is from the Keys of Enoch, and so this
Keys
is
of Enoch, yeah.
So this is, you can see the fiery symbols of the Hebrew letters, and you see all the angels and coming in, the stairway to heavens, and all the tree of life, and all the
tree of life.
Yeah, all, and you see all the four horsemen, like the lion, the eagle, all the tremendous symbolism. It's a very powerful image. When you make your sign, mine, you can make a beautiful design. We all have beautiful designs, but mine makes the Star of David. And Hilda in the Dream World once had all us students, and she was going with each person saying what their gift was, and she pointed to me and said, Life of David. So the Star of David has always been very connected. About it? Or are we talking about later? You're just taking pictures.
Yeah, go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, so this is Chant of Miracles. This is from a Sanskrit chant from 800 BC. And I met a doctor in India who was healing people with this chant of AIDS, cancer, all kinds of things. And then she wanted me to learn it. So she taught me the Sanskrit. I set it to a melody, and then we made this recording. And we've had all these wonderful things with it since I've done it. I was once last year gave a concert in Bucharest, and there was a teenage girl who was blind, and when I sang this chant, with her third eye, she saw the whole auditorium filled with light. Oh my God! So it was really wonderful.
Maybe we should do a test with some of these and see what happens when, like, the animals are coming and stuff like that. We should do that sometime.
You come to a concert and you'll see all the paraphernalia. This is my oldest CD, Angelic Harp Music. One piece on here was played for the Queen of Holland's funeral, and so it was broadcast all over Europe. And it's probably my most popular CD. It's been, but it's because of the oldest. You know, it's been played the most.
That's your first one?
Yeah, first CD.
Wow.
And but of course, this one brings in the angels. It's a chant. If anyone loves angels, this brings in the angels.
Yeah. What inspires you to put the angels in there?
Well, I've always loved the angels.
You
The
just
angels are my
doing
thing.
an artwork and
Yeah, the angels are my thing. And this one is called Angel Healing. This is perfect for people that give massages and healings. It's just under an hour, one continuous piece, perfect for any sessions that you can do. This one is great if you do like Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong. It's perfect for doing that kind of work. These are just beautiful songs that are popular. We're in such a crazy time on the earth right now. And one astrologer said, in crazy times, it's great to hear music that was familiar when you were young. It's uplifting.
Somewhere.
So, yeah, so it has a lot of real familiar pieces. But here's a talk about 2012 that gives a lot of the perspective of what's going on in the world right now and what we can expect to come now and after 2012, based on what the rishis in India have to say.
And what are they talking about?
Well, it's similar to everything else that we've heard, is that basically we're shifting back to light, we're shifting dimensions, and so it's one of the most important things we can do is meditate. And like what many teachers say everywhere, most important thing is to be in your heart, not your head, in your heart. And as much as you can, be in your heart before you speak something, and just really try to stay in that heart. And
good philosophy there.
Yeah.
I just did a show on the Mayan calendar, and we pulled up some YouTube pieces, and they said that when we go through the photon belt, that the sun won't be seen for 70 hours.
Yeah, well, the rishis say the same thing, that we're touched, but some of the biggest forces that are influencing us right now is the photon belt, which is, they say it's the energy that surrounds Sirius, and then of course that we're coming so close to the galactic center, and so those combined together are going to create all this. And they talk about the 3 days of darkness, which many other groups have talked about.
Even the Bible talks about it.
Yeah. So you
It's
see
funny how all this is coming together at the end of, or during our time.
Yeah. Well, this is the most exciting time to be on Earth.
Yeah.
We've waited lifetimes for this life right now. In fact, sometimes we might have had a life as a monk just to learn patience for this life right now. And the thing is that there were a lot of mistakes made back at the time with Lemurian Atlantis sinking, and we had to wait until now when the same energies would be on the earth. So a lot of the same people that were there then are back here now. The same experimentation with the cell phone tower, that kind of technology, the electromagnetic radiation, all was here then, and it's here again now. And so we couldn't, we're having the opportunity to do right what we did wrong that time. Hopefully we'll get it right this time.
That's good, though. We need to know why we're here.
Yeah, but we're not learning anything new, because everything has already been here.
We're just remembering.
We're just remembering.
Yeah.
And so that's why another thing that there was a wonderful shaman from Peru that was here in Shasta. Shasta is so amazing because so many people come through here and you can learn from them. And this one shaman from Peru was saying that in addition to being in the heart, one of the most important things is to watch your dreams. As I mentioned earlier, I'm really
dreams
aware
are
of your
so
dreams.
powerful.
Yeah, because that's one of the main ways that we can connect with our guidance right now is through our dreams. And so before you sleep, ask to be given the direction. Our intent is so powerful. If we don't, we could, you just go to sleep, you go to sleep. All you have to do is say, angels, take me, let me learn.
Take me to my next level.
Yeah, take me to my next level, and then you learn. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, just sit up and then just say, download whatever's perfect for me, and boom, and then go back to sleep. And then when you wake up, have a paper and a pen and write down the first thing that you have. And you might not remember, but as soon as you start writing, it can all
It
come
comes
back.
in. Yeah. You know, I did 10 years ago. I did a dream class with some people, and we were actually starting to dream about what our instructor was about to do, but nobody knew. And a couple dreamers said, "Hey, we had a dream." And individually, they said, "I had a dream about this and this and this," and that somebody else said, "I had something similar to that." And then the instructor, she says, "Well, you know, I'd been thinking about moving to a bigger place." And the two dreamers said, "We see you there."
Wow.
That's how close we were all connecting.
Yeah, it's amazing. And sometimes you can have a dream with someone else, and they've had the dream too, and people can. It's so amazing. I've had, I don't do anything. I just do what I do. But I have people where I've been who who knows? Maybe they respect me and they use my image. But anyway, people have said that I come
You
to them
appear in their
dreams,
Yes.
and they're healed in their dreams.
I do that a lot.
Wow, it's
I
wonderful.
bring information to people. They'll call me up. "Hey, you were in my dream last night, and this is what you said." And I'm like, I did follow through on that one.
Yeah, it's so great.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's really beautiful.
So who comes to you in your dreams? Anybody?
Well, I just mentioned last night I had the Sufi master who was teaching me, and it was just extraordinary. And he was showing us all these things. The night before, we were learning about the devas of the trees, because it's real important to connect with the earth right now as well, because the earth is going through so much, and it's real important to be connected with the earth and to be. And here in Mount Shasta, we're so blessed because
where your reflection becomes who you really are.
Yeah. So it's real important not only to meditate, to be in your heart, it's important to spend time in nature.
Yes.
So, been having that.
We had a lady channel Adama a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that Adama said was, "Get out of your house and go out in nature, and we'll be there with you."
Oh yeah, isn't that great? So that's how we were just out in nature just now. Every day we go out and go to the lake. It's so important to be in nature. And when we have the retreats here, we spend part of it out in nature. Nature is so important. When I was in Israel, I take trips that people can come on trips with me. For example, I have a trip for the 11/11 where people can come with me and others. Susan Isabel, who I know has been in your program, is coming, and Sakara and Keiko, who've been here in Shasta. We're all part of a group taking people to Machu Picchu.
Yes, you're going.
Yeah, I'm part of that. Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, that's going to be so wonderful, and PowerPoints are just so powerful at this time, and things are being activated.
I have a friend who saw Susan's flyer on that. She says, "I have dreams all the time of me being right there in the mountain." And I said, "Well, are you going to go?" And she goes, "I have to, because I see myself there." So she's going to be with you.
Oh, that's super. Yeah. So you can come on that, and I've been giving retreats or trips that people could come on for a long time, and playing harp in the places and activating, and we do different things, and it's just really wonderful. Like with nature, one playtime we were in Greece, and we just played all the we had each person come in, and whatever they wanted to have healed, and a wind would come up and it would move it, and then as soon as it was finished, the wind would stop. Next person would come in, the wind would come up again. For every single person that happened. It's amazing how nature can cooperate with us. We had one of the most dramatic times was in Norway, where we had a retreat, and we were working on what each person wanted to have worked on, and we finished. One lady had tears rolling down her cheeks, and I said, "I feel we were all healed, but you still have tears. What is it?" And she said, "Yes, I am fine, but I felt the people, the souls where I just was, they didn't feel fine to me." And I said, "Well, what is that? Let's look." And
joys of happiness.
Yeah, well, it turned out it was Valhalla, which was the Viking heaven world. And originally, they loved the astral plane and they could fight and whatever. But after thousands of years, they got tired of it and they were stuck in this time loop. So
unstuck.
So we asked permission, and then we started to release it. And while we were releasing it, there was a thunderstorm. There was lightning and thunder that was the longest thunder we had ever heard. It was sticky. It was heavy, heavy, heavy. And when we finished, the sun came out, and it was so light that all anybody could do was just giggle.
Wow.
It was just, it had completely shifted, and it was sunny then the whole rest of the time that we were in Norway.
I bet you can make it rain, sunshine, or get cloudy.
Well, I have to work more on getting it to rain. I'm pretty good at stopping the rain and having sun come out. But we were once in France with a group near Rennes-le-Château, and it was our day to go to the Cathar ruins, and we went there, and it was raining, cats and dogs, and we were coming out, and everyone was, oh my gosh, can we do this or not? So I shared this chant. It's a Native American sun chant, and we did it, and the sun came out, the rain stopped, and it was the most gorgeous day. Everyone was so impressed. But it's the power of the sound, and
you're just the channel of it.
Well, I was a channel, and the group was with us, and also it was right. It was in harmony with the elements of what could be for that day. If the land needs rain, you can't just come in and shift it when it needs it, and when a certain energy has to be, you have to be in the flow. So we were in the flow as well, but being in that flow, it shifted just like that. That was one of the most dramatic times.
Exciting when that happens.
Yeah,
Exciting.
but I feel that we can do many things, and in I have a workshop coming up at the end of August, which is preparing us for the future and everything we're doing. And I feel that we can be a huge difference. We can change. We can stop earthquakes. We can shift things for other parts of the planet, and especially here from Mount Shasta. Part of the PowerPoints. Mountains have always been PowerPoints right from the beginning of time. And Mount Shasta, many people say, is the energy, the most powerful PowerPoint. The energy comes Shasta before it comes to the rest of the earth. And when people come to a PowerPoint like Shasta, they come to receive energy, but also come to the mountain to send energy. So from here you can send energy to other parts of the earth. So we that live here actually have a responsibility to send energy to the rest of the world. And because this is a PowerPoint to send from. So that's one thing that
magical place.
Magical place. That's one thing we're going to do during this retreat, and we do with all the gatherings that we have here and everyone I'm a part of. We always have music for the earth. Here.
Exciting.
So this is an organite generator. Remember the word I couldn't say, I couldn't remember? It's organite.
Say it again?
Organite.
Organite generator.
But this is an organite generator. So this is like the power stuff for the whole house.
And this is?
This is called the Warrior of Light. And you can see it's made out of the elements. So dolphins for eyes, and stars in the sky, fire below, earth, air, and water. And if you saw the movie Avatar, doesn't it look like the Avatar?
Mm-hmm.
But this was made before the film.
Wow. Is this, who made this one?
Zenon. So I'd like to thank you for being with me today and spending this time and sharing energy. And if you respond to anything we've shared, know that you can get CDs of mine here if you're here in Mount Shasta. Many places in town: the Shambhala Center, Soul Connection, Crystal Room, Village Books. Stuart Mineral Springs all carry my CDs, but you can also order them online through my website or CD Baby. And if you're interested in a healing session, you can call me or email me, and I can do it either. If you're in Shasta, come in person, or you can do it by over the phone, or you can have a remote session. And with the healings, we cover whatever there is. We working on your future, your finances, your relationships. We've had everything happen in relationships. One person really wanted a relationship, and this was the most dramatic. She left the session to the person that she was with for the next up to years. And but it can be physical healing, it can be whatever it is, or moving energy to a project. And also with animals, doing a lot with animals. And so you can have sessions, you can get CDs, and then also you can come on tours. The immediate tour is the one in November to Machu Picchu, but at other times we have tours to power points on the planet. And the other thing is you can come to concerts. I finished the public concerts for this year in Mount Shasta, but next summer you can check on my website to see when I have other public concerts that you could come to. And also you can come to retreats. So still coming up the very last weekend in August, we're having this very special retreat to prepare for the changes. I've been giving a lot of workshops and retreats in the world. We have one that's like a week long that releases us from the matrix, which has been one of the most powerful. We'll cover some of the points of that in this workshop coming up, but it will help you to move through these awesome times with as much flow as possible. So and before I go, I always like to, in case this is the only time you ever see me, I like to give you at least a couple tools to work with. So one is for everyone that you see, you can say, I give you my love, I give you my heart, I receive your love, I receive your heart. So if you're having trouble with anybody in your life, you just say that mentally, and that will begin to shift the energy and move it into something really special and wonderful. And if there's anything that's stuck in your life, there's a wonderful magical phrase called Ya Fatah. Ya Fatah means the opener in Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew. So it means opening. So energy should always be flowing. And if we have anything that's not flowing, it means that it's stuck somewhere. And so by going Ya Fatah, it opens it up to move it. So you go, your hands on your heart, and you go Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. So I've done this many times when I travel, and I come with all my harp and luggage, and they say, oh, all this luggage, you're going to have to pay all this extra money. And I say, oh, can I speak to your manager? And I go, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, in my head. And then they come back and say, no problem. So you can use this for any obstacle that comes in your life, which is really only there as a teaching, to reflect something that you can learn from. But meantime, to open the energy, you can go Ya Fatah. So I thank you again for this time. I wish you the very, very, very best in your life with whatever happens. And if we get to connect through music or workshop or healing, that will be wonderful too. Meantime, may everything open for you. Ya Fatah.
Namaste.
Namaste.